exec, el Vélez, el Vélez, el Vélez, el fenómeno que todos quieren ser, el chamaquito que no pueden entender.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to episode 98 of the Exec Talk podcast. I am your host, El Velez. What is happening? Follow us on all our socials, Instagrams, Snapchat, Twitter /X, YouTube. Subscribe, hit the like button. It helped me out. Comment helps me out. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. Yeah, so it's a Friday. So I'm 1 day late on this one, and it's because I was exhausted yesterday from work. So I couldn't muster up the energy for you guys to do this. There wasn't a lot going on either from the sports standpoint. Today is a big day because it's a 15-game slate in the NBA. Round 2 of the Masters just finished up, which is I'm doing this after the round 2 of the Masters because I wanted to have some insight for you guys. And NASCAR's going to Texas. And that starts tomorrow with qualifying. Probably trucks ran today, but other than that, we're going to speak a little bit about the draft, but this is mostly a Masters and NBA episode. Those are the what is in crunch time at this moment. We're going to speak about some baseball at the end, but this is Masters and NBA gonna be Masters and NBA dominated. All right, so if you guys like golf or you like basketball, this is gonna be the episode for you. I'm lying. I'm gonna talk about everything, but it's gonna be more focused around the Masters and baseball. Starting off with some things just to get out the way. Players who have officially accepted their invitation to the draft: Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, Brian Thomas Jr., Terrion Arnold, Quinyon Mitchell, Dallas Turner, Darius Robinson, Laiatu Latu, and J.C. Latham. I expect Caleb, Jaden, May, Harrison, Neighbors, Odunze, Dallas Turner gone in the first 10 picks. So not a lot there for the green room left for later. You know, maybe just Quinyon Mitchell, Terrion Arnold, Brian Thomas Jr., Latu, Darius Robinson, and Latham. Hopefully some other people, you know, maybe like Xavier Worthy, maybe he gets invited, or Bo Nix, J.J. McCarthy. You know, those will be some interesting names to get invited by. But we shall see. So far, no exceptions or any of that. On the draft news, Jonathan Brooks, the top-rated running back in this draft, has passed all the medical physicals. He will be good to go for the season. So he potentially will be still the first guy taken off the draft at the running back position. The Rashee Rice situation, he turned himself in. He has 8 counts, including reckless driving, cause of bodily injury, cause of serious bodily injury, hit and run. I mean, hopefully he has enough legal money to get through this, but he was the driver of the Lamborghini, so we shall see what happens. His mugshot is now out in the internet. You just won a Super Bowl. You're going for 3 in a row. What are you doing? What are you doing? Racing. Why? No reason to. Zero reason to. Kentucky. Got a pod for John Calipari. Coach Cal is officially off of Kentucky. Like we said, he went to Arkansas. Kentucky was looking to target BYU's coach, Mark Pope, as a replacement. And it became official. It became official a little bit later in the day. Yep. Mark Pope was hired as the men's basketball coach for the University of Kentucky. Let's see if he can take them back to prominence, because right now it's not looking good for the old blue. Kellen Mond got signed by the Saints. That's the old Texas A&M quarterback that has had a cup of coffee in a few places. We'll see what he does at the Saints, backing up Derek Carr. A lot of visits have happened, but we're not going to go through those because, like, they go to a lot of teams. Unless you're Caleb Williams, you just go to one. But Mike Tyson wants to be for his A game, for his fight against Jake Paul. I hope he knocks him out. I hope Mike just shows that he is really Iron Mike. Like, you can't go against a guy like that. That'd be pretty funny. I'd be laughing my ass off if that happened. What else? Yeah, so Josh Allen got this giant contract. Josh Allen for the Jaguars. Got this giant contract, and he says I'm a legacy guy. I agree. I mean, he has the best of his career still ahead of him, in my opinion. Now he has to put it together along with Trevor Lawrence in order to, do something with that so-called, so-called super duper team with Trevor Lawrence, and they still need one more receiver. I don't think Gabriel Davis is going to make up for losing Calvin Ridley. That's just my personal opinion. So they need to draft somebody. Nick Chubb got a reworked contract. They lowered his base to a lower of his base, $11.775 million. That's a slap in the face for Nick Chubb, but that's the value of the running back nowadays. Bronny is heading to the league, but like I said, I think he'll be better in the league than he was in college. O.J. Simpson, R.I.P., one of the greatest football players of all time, Hall of Famer. Yes, we know about off the field stuff and the case and everything, but on the field at USC and for the Buffalo Bills, O.J. was O.J. You feel me? So R.I.P. to O.J. Thank you for a great career. So one of the things that is, to me, very interesting this year is the fact that the playoffs in the NBA, and this is just going to be really brief because I want to talk about the Masters first before I get into NBA playoff scenarios, but everything's coming down to the last game. So many seedings, so many different matchups that we can see. We're going to break down, all we can today because, like, Sunday's the last day of the regular season, and there's a 15-game slate today. So, next week we have playing games, and then next Friday or Saturday, I think we have our first round playoffs. So I'm excited for that. But everything's coming down to the wire, and it's razor thin margins either way you slice it for a lot of teams. So we're going to get into that later. But now we're going to get into the Masters. Round 1, round 2 of the Masters. There's nothing like this golf tournament in my personal opinion. I've liked it forever, literally, for a while. I've seen 2 of Tiger's wins because I wasn't following it when he won in '96. Well, I was born that January when he won it in '96 and '97. I was like 1 year old, so I saw when he won in '08. And then I saw it when he won in 16. I want to say that was his last major win. Max Homa, Scheffler, DeChambeau, after round 2, all tied for the lead at 6 under. I told you Scottie Scheffler would be there. Bryson, I expected to. More notably, Colin Morikawa that we talked about. He's tied for 5th at 3 under. You have Tommy Fleetwood. There's a lot of people at 1 under. A lot. Tommy Fleetwood, Cameron Smith, Cameron Young, Danny Willett, Paul Reed, or Patrick Reed, excuse me. Seb Straka, Xander Schauffele is at even par. Matt Fitzpatrick is at even par. Tiger's at 1 over. Listen, I saw Tiger today. He looked as healthy as I've seen him in years. He's walking normal. There's not a really hitch. There's always been a hitch in his getup after the surgeries, but this year he seems like he's really like healthy. Yes, he has a lot of treatment to go through and everything like that, but I like the way he's striking the ball. He's definitely putting, and his short game is still Tiger-esque short game. Brooks Koepka's 2 over, so he's still in it. The cut was at +6. People that didn't make it, some surprises definitely include Jordan Spieth didn't make it. I'll tell you guys right now who got cut of the big boys. Zach Johnson didn't make it. He was pretty pissed. Justin Rose, Wyndham Clark, Sergio Garcia, Justin Thomas. Victor Hovland, Harmon, Burns, Spieth, Bubba Watson, Schwartzel, Fred Couples, Dustin Johnson, DJ, he's out. Gary Woodland is out. So some big hitters. Who's left? Well, we talked about Woods, but who's actually left is Kim. We have Knapp, Woo Kim, Hideki Matsuyama, former champion, Ricky Fowler, Adam Scott. We have Tony Finau, John Rahm. He's at 5 over, so he barely made it. JT Poston, Keegan, he's in it. Joaquin, Rory's 4 over. Mingwoo Lee is in it. Phil is 4 over. He's in it. Phil Mickelson. Jason Day's 4 over. He's in it. The VJ Singh. Will Zalatoris. Batia, the kid. Shane Lowry. Corey Connors. Patrick Cantlay. Terry Hatton. Yeah, is that Terrell Hatton. Brooks Koepka, he's in it. Tiger, Matt Fitzpatrick. Schauffele, Straka, Reed, Willett. We went through the Hayun, Cameron Young. But at the top, Max Homa, Scheffler, DeChambeau. 3 different types of players. Max Homa, super consistent. Not too amazing at everything. Like, not legendary at everything, but can get everything done. He can get you a nice driver. He can has a nice short game, and he can putt. Scheffler is the number 1 player in the world. Him and DeChambeau basically went Homa, Scheffler, and DeChambeau the first 2 days went back and forth with the lead multiple times. The first day was extremely difficult. Rain, Delayed start by like 3-4 hours. Tiger had to finish his first round this morning, so he actually played 23 holes, which is more impressive that he made the cut for the 24th straight time at a Masters Championship, breaking the record with Fred Couples and Player and those legends. He now has the record for most consecutive made cuts at Augusta and the Masters, which is incredible. Another record that he shatters. He feels like he can still win another one. I see that in his game he can. He definitely has the game to do it. It's just if his body will let him do it. And then, he also has to face Scheffler, DeChambeau. DeChambeau hit a 397 yard drive on like the 15th hole. Longest drive of all time on that 15th hole. It took such a bounce. It was ridiculous. Scheffler was really consistent all day. The putter's gotten better from his struggles from 10 feet, 5 feet. He seems like he's in it. And then Max Homa, steady Eddie. Højgaard in his first the Dane. He's 4 back, fourth. It's his first Masters, so that's pretty good for him. Colin Morikawa, he went 2 under today in really tough conditions. We're talking about 30-mile-per-hour gust out of nowhere. People couldn't get it on the green because they would fly it over. Amen Corner was a hassle. 15 was a hassle. When you think about how people score on 15, where you can get something on that par 5. 18 was crazy. People missing left and right. Balls getting literally whisked off the green with the wind. I mean, it was bad. Hopefully, supposedly the next 2 days will be better, but knowing Augusta, it could rain, it could wind, gust. Like, we've seen everything at Augusta. So, but we're supposed to be in line with good conditions with the next 2 days. Surprising for me, Bryson DeChambeau. He went 6 under, greatest round of golf at a major championship for him, and at a Masters, of course. I think that he looks a lot more calmer than he used to. He used to be a guy that used to be a lot of up and down, emotional when he's missing a putt, hitting a bad shot. He seems a lot more composed, and I think that's helping his game a lot. Scheffler is being Scheffler. He missed a 3-footer at the third for a birdie. Shouldn't have done that. I mean, it kind of lollied him off in the next few holes, but he got it right back. And he got it back to 6 under. They were at 7 under, but they hit bogeys. DeChambeau did, and Scheffler did. Coming down home the stretch, the last 9 was hellacious, especially Amen Corner for a lot of people. I like Colin Morikawa being there. I like Cameron Smith being there. Cameron Young. There's people that can still get up there. We'll see tomorrow. They start early. I'm very excited to see who can make a move. Tomorrow is moving day. Who's going to take advantage of the fact that they made the cut? And then if there is really good conditions in the morning, who is going to take advantage of those good conditions and shoot low score? Maybe we see a 65, maybe we see a 66, something along those lines where we can fantasize about maybe having a really, really good competitive stacked last 3-4 groups heading into Sunday. But I'm excited for what's to come. The course played really tough today. If you couldn't get your fairways, you are not getting birdies. Okay, it is the same story at Augusta. You need to drive long, hit fairways, tee to green, and you better be good in putting, man. If you are not if you're not in the top 5, top 10 in strokes gained putting, you are not doing good at Augusta. Augusta is probably one of the most challenging greens, if not the most challenging greens in the world of golf. The undulations, the wind, The bunker shots are all tough. I mean, the wind was howling so hard that it was taking sand out of the. You saw sand come out of the bunkers onto the green, and then when they hit it on the green, you see sand bouncing, puffing up. I mean, it was hellacious conditions. Got to give it up to these guys. These guys are the best in the world to play in those conditions and actually keep their scores. What they did. Not a lot of people went in red today. I mean, you're talking about Homa 1 under today. Scheffler dead even. DeChambeau +1 because he came into the day -7. You know, Colin Morikawa had a good day at 2 under. And kid from Sweden, Ludvig Oiberg. He had a good day. He had the best round actually of anybody at -3. Other than that, not a lot of in reds, not a lot of reds, and that basically tells you just how difficult the course played. But people scrambled, man. A lot of people scrambled, especially Tiger. Tiger went birdie, bogey, birdie, bogey, birdie, bogey for like 6, 7, 8 holes straight. I mean, it was brilliance and catastrophe, and brilliance and catastrophe. It's a really, really exciting tournament, man. This is just the start of major season. You got PGA Championship after this. You have the U.S. Open, then you have the Open. Like, I'm really excited about this golf season. But this is what starts it all. After the few, you know, you have the Players Championship and everything like that. But, you know, when you start to see how good, who's going to really dominate the season of golf starts at the majors, and there's nothing more important than Augusta National, the Masters, the 88th. The race for the green jacket. And yeah, man, very excited for it. I told you Scheffler would be in it. He's still the favorite. We'll see how conditions go tomorrow. He is in the late group. He tees off at 2:35 p.m. We'll see how the weather is. Homa's at 2:45. So is Bryson. Tiger goes out at 12:45 p.m. See how he goes with Tyrrell Hatton. And yeah, him and Tyrrell Hatton tee off together. So I believe they're in the same group. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited for what's to come. These 2 days should be very, very exciting. Let's move on to the NBA and break down what is going on in the NBA with 2 games left. Okay? First of all, let's get to what's happening as we speak and what is to happen tonight. The Knicks are up to 109-107 with 4.3 seconds left versus the Nets. Really important game for the Knicks because the Knicks are just 1 game out of Milwaukee. Okay? And Milwaukee's facing who? The Oklahoma City Thunder later tonight. So if the Knicks can pull that off, which they should, it's 4.3 seconds left, play defense, you win that game. Okay, so that's what's going on with the Knicks. The Heat are up 20. Holy shit. 92-75. Well, that's what we needed to do at the start of the fourth quarter. We are up 92-75 on the Raptors. We need that because our race is in order to get to either the 7th seed or the 6th seed. Right now, we're a game and a half out of the 7th seed, which is Philadelphia, and the same out of the 5th seed and the same out of the 6th seed. If any of those teams falter, we can possibly capitalize in the last 2 games of the season, including this one. So if we win tonight, and let's say Indiana just won, so that doesn't that won't change. Indiana's, still there. But Orlando or Philly can be very interesting. Next, 80-80. Hawks versus the Timberwolves at the end of the third quarter. This is a giant game for the Timberwolves. Absolutely giant. Atlanta can't. I don't think even maybe if Chicago loses, but Atlanta cannot move to the 9th seed. They're 2.5 games back with 2 games left. They can't do it. But Minnesota needs to win tonight in order to get to the same win column as Denver. They have the tiebreaker, but Denver has to lose one, and it's not, I don't think they will, but they have to win tonight because OKC with one more win, if the Minnesota Timberwolves lose, actually no, if they lose, they already moved to 3 because they're both at 25 losses. They're 55 and 25, both of them. So the outcome of tonight's game is going to loom very large about who's going to be the 2 and the 3 in the West. Next is the Bucks and the Thunder. The Thunder are winning 101, 83, 9-17 left in the fourth quarter. That looks like a Thunder win. What happens with that? Well, like I said, if Milwaukee loses, they have the same losses as the Knicks. Okay? And then the Knicks, if they win today, they have the same win. So they're the same record for the 2 seed. I believe the Knicks have the tiebreaker. I believe. I'm not sure about that. But I believe the Knicks have the tiebreaker because of earlier in the season. The Nuggets are up 10 on the Spurs with 7:57 left in the fourth. If the Nuggets lose that game, it opens the door for OKC or the Timberwolves to get the number 1 seed again. If they win, I think that they pretty much lock it up. The Pistons are beating the Mavericks right now, 72-58, 626 in the third. That's important because the Mavs are in a dead race to, actually, they're 2 games up on New Orleans. But they can go get the Clippers at 4, and get home field advantage first round. I think that they would like to do that. So I think that they should try to win. I mean, they're won 5 in a row. If they don't win that game against the Pistons, something's going on. Lakers and Grizzlies are 102-99 right now. The Lakers need to win this game in order to try to get to the 9th seed, because right now the 8th, the 9, and the 10 are all tied at 11 games back. Phoenix is in 7, 2 games up on Sacramento, Golden State, and the Lakers. If the Lakers win tonight, they go to 46 and 35. It would jump them over Golden State. Although the tiebreaker was Golden State. So if they're still tied at the end of the season. But Golden State has a tough games. Okay, so the Knicks won. Assuming Milwaukee loses, Knicks are going to the 2 seed, I believe. So with 1 game left, Knicks will be the 2 seed, which is insane to think about, just with Jalen Brunson and no Julius Randle, and OG just came back and Mitchell Robinson just came back. It's been Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, Miles McBride. Like, that's it. And Jalen Brunson. That's incredible, and Tibbs have done a wonderful job. Back to what's going on. The 76ers beat the Magic. Big. Really big. That gives the 76ers a little bit of room. And the Magic dropping that game ties them with Indiana. Indiana could possibly jump them for the 5th seed. Okay? Could possibly jump them for the 6th seed. Golden State and the Pelicans are just starting to play. The Bulls beat the Wizards. That basically cinched the 9th seed for them and home court in the play-in. Celtics destroyed the Hornets, but we don't care. Okay, Cavaliers beat the Pacers. Okay, so this is big because the Cavaliers had a 1-game lead on Orlando for that 4th seed. Okay? Now, because the Cavaliers won and the Pacers lost, it literally puts in the focus that 5, 6, 7, 8, because we won, Pacers lost, even though I think this is already updated, so I think we're still a game and a half behind regardless. But I think that Miami can still get into the playoffs without having to go through the play-in. I think it's still possible, but we'll have to see at the end of tonight how the standings shake out. Okay? Then we have Pelicans-Warriors just starting. Giant implications. Warriors have to win, but so do the Pelicans. Pelicans have to win because they are on the bubble, one game up on the Suns. You do not want to give up that game. But then again, Golden State doesn't want to give up that game either. Okay? They've won 3 in a row. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They've been playing really well. It's going to be a really good game. I expect Zion and Curry to have good games. You have the Rockets at the Trailblazers. That doesn't matter. You have Jazz at the Clippers. If the Jazz were to win, let's say the Jazz were to get an upset playing hard, that throws into play the fact that Dallas can jump them for the 4th spot because Dallas is only a game behind. Okay? And I think Dallas would love that 4th spot. Okay? And then you got the Suns-Kings tonight at 10:30. Giant game. If the Suns lose, let's say the Suns lose, Golden State wins. I believe how it works. Is that 7 seed is up with 1 game to go, and they're up, Phoenix will be up by 1 game over Sacramento, the Lakers, and Golden State. If New Orleans wins today, and the Suns get beat by Sacramento, I believe Sacramento might stay the same because they're also 2 games back of Phoenix. So that doesn't change. But what does change is that New Orleans basically seals up the 6th seed, and they don't have to touch a play-in. Because if Phoenix lose, they go to 10 back, and New Orleans wins, they go to 7 back, which is one away from Dallas. But I think Dallas is going to finish strong this season. It's all about the Clippers and Dallas, how they finish up. We're talking about 2 games, guys. This is the thing. Like, most of this stuff is cinched up unless it's 1 game differences, 1.5. But, 2 games with 2 games left, especially because 1 game happened today, that's pretty much set in stone. But super important for the Phoenix, because if Phoenix loses tonight, they are possibly within striking distance of Sacramento, Golden State, and the Lakers. Okay? So that's what's happening in the NBA right now. Let's talk about what's actually going to happen in the playoffs. As it stands right now, without knowing who is going from the play-in, we're going to go through every scenario. Boston will go up against either Philadelphia, Miami, Chicago, or Atlanta. Why? Because once the 7-8 matchup happens, whoever loses there goes to the winner of the 9-10 matchup for the 8th seed. So it could be whichever 4 of them will can face Boston. Their biggest threat would be Philly or Miami. They would cakewalk Chicago and Atlanta, even though they lollygag a lot. The big threat, I think, is Philadelphia because they have everybody back. Maxey is healthy. So is Joel and playing really good. They still have Kelly Oubre. They still have Tobias Harris, Paul Reed, DeAnthony Melton came back. So they have a really good squad with Nick Nurse. They can pose a threat to the Boston Celtics. Not that they could win, although they could if Joel Embiid really is 35 a game, Joel Embiid. The biggest threat is probably Miami just because we're in their head. But either way, I expect Boston to move on. The second, Milwaukee right now, but it could be New York. Milwaukee would face either Philly or Miami because they face the 7 seed, which is the winner of the 7-8 playing game. The toughest matchup, honestly, would be Philly because of Embiid. They've shown over the course of the season, when Embiid was there earlier in the season, that they could not control Embiid. Yes, I believe in Giannis and Dame in the playoffs, but Giannis has that calf strain. We don't know how long he's going to be out, so we'll see about that. Dame can carry because he has a good squad around him. But there's no answer. There's no answer for Joel Embiid. Zero. Okay? If it's the Knicks, it's still Philly because of Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid can mess this shit all up. All up. He could come in there like this. I'm coming to hunt. You know, because I lost my meniscus, but, you know, now I believe, and let me not get this wrong, I believe he got hurt tonight again. And if that happened, then we're in serious trouble. Then they're in serious trouble. Because I think I saw a tweet that he left the game for some reason. So let me check that right quick. All right, it looks like he's fine. It looks like he's fine. From what I'm seeing from the 76ers here, he scored 28 and he was good. Okay? He scored 32, double-double, and they won against the Magic. Oh, he returned from the injury scare and finished with 32. Okay. So he's fine. We don't got to worry about him. Okay. The 3 seed will go against the 6 seed. Right now it's New York, Indiana. It could be Milwaukee, Indiana. With no Giannis, that is tough. Indiana has a lot of offense. Tyrese, Nembhard, Naismith, Miles Turner, Toppin, McConnell. There is a lot of offense. Not a lot of defense, but there's a lot of offense. With no Giannis, it's tough. Dame can do it, but it's tough. Now, let's say that it's New York. I don't think that the Pacers could bring up anything against New York. I think Jalen Brunson eats. I think Mitchell Robinson eats on the offensive glass. Their defense is suffocating against that team. So I think it wouldn't be a good series for Indiana. Cleveland at 4 would go up against Orlando at 5. Very interesting series. A proven commodity in the playoffs in Donovan Mitchell versus a very young, talented, defensive-oriented Orlando team, gritty, but has trouble scoring sometimes. I think that Cleveland will have trouble with Paolo and Franz, but at the same time, there is a possibility for Cleveland to just shoot them out the building. It's close, but I think because of the experience, I think Donovan Mitchell doesn't have as bad as of a series that he did last year against the Knicks. I think he comes better, and it's just a learning experience for Orlando. That's the East. Okay, that's the East. The West is where it gets insane. Okay, so let's just say Denver's the 1 seed. It doesn't matter who they play. So we're gonna run through that quickly. If it's Phoenix, it don't matter. If it's Sacramento, it don't matter. If it's Golden State, might be a good series, but it don't matter. And if it's the Lakers, it might be a good series, but they also might get swept like they did last year. That's Denver. Minnesota is going to be based on matchup. Now, they do have Karl Anthony Towns. He returned back tonight. And as the game stands, as of right now, They're winning by 5 with 5:54 left in the fourth. The Timberwolves winning by 5. Okay, the Bucks are getting smoked by the Thunder, 111-91. And the Nuggets are in a nail biter, 118-115 in the fourth quarter. 2 minutes and 36 seconds left with the Spurs. And Mavericks are still losing by 12 at the end of the third to the Pistons. The Grizzlies are in it with the Lakers, 109-105 with 6:44 left in the fourth. Okay? So if it's the Timberwolves, the defense will play. Okay? The defense is going to play against anybody, including Denver. But if I'm the Timberwolves, I definitely much rather face Sacramento out of Phoenix, Golden State, and the Lakers. Much rather face Sacramento. If I face Phoenix, I got to deal with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, where they can explode offensively, just in jump shooters. And if I'm dealing with Golden State, I got Curry and Clay and Draymond and Steve Kerr. And then if I got the Lakers, I still got to deal with AD, still got to deal with LBJ, still got to deal with Austin Reeves and D'Lo if he gets hot. And I'm a young team looking to do big things from what we are building from last year. Like I said, the defense will play. Rudy will play. Why? Because Karl Anthony Towns is there, and they have elite perimeter defenders all through the starters and the bench. You're talking about Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Mike Conley can play a little defense. You got Kyle Anderson that could play a little defense. You have pieces that will play defense. Okay, that's why they're the number one defense rated team. So in that regard, I am not worried about them. I am worried about them if they do face a Phoenix, the scoring barrage of Kevin Durant, the scoring barrage of a Devin Booker, the scoring barrage of a Bradley Beal, where it's easy, where it's like it doesn't matter how you cover him. He's just making them. They can win a series like that. Same thing with Golden State. If Curry comes out just like, yeah, I want my 5th ring and I'm going to do whatever I can to get it, and he comes out gangbusters averaging 30, 35, that's tough because Clay's going to be open because you're going to double Curry. And then Draymond gets the 4-on-3. You still got Kuminga already, developed into a 20-point scorer. If Wiggins wakes up and is the same Andrew Wiggins that was in 2022, which is he completely capable of, this team is not a 9th-seeded team. This team is much better than that. Now, however, the size against Denver, Minnesota, and OKC is a problem. Even the Clippers with Zubac. Even Dallas with everybody has size but the Golden State Warriors. That is the only thing. But they've won it without size before. They did it in 2022. Okay? Minnesota wants to face Sacramento. You don't want to face Golden State. You really don't want to face the Lakers because the whistle as well, and you don't want to face, Kevin Durant. Okay? OKC. We're assuming they're in the 3 seed. They're in 3 seed right now. We're assuming they stay 3 seed. They would go against New Orleans. Really, really good series. A series that can go 7. However, I believe OKC has enough firepower from SGA going up another level. First time we're going to see him in the actual playoffs. We saw him in the play-in. He lost last year. This is the actual playoffs coming off of what I believe he should be the MVP. Okay, yeah, that's my take. SGA is the MVP. I like Luka, but he waited too long to get to the point that he is now. What I mean by that is that the team was too much time spent at the 7, 8, 9 threshold there. Now with the push into the 5th seed, I don't know if it's going to be enough. If he gets him into the 4th seed, we can have a conversation. But right now, my MVP, and I'm an Anthony Edwards lover. He's my favorite player right now. You know, him and Steph Curry are my two favorite players in the league. I love Anthony Edwards, but with 26 points a game going against 31, it's tough. It's tough. I give it to SGA. He is a hell of a scorer. He could play make, defend. He deserves the MVP. You ask, oh, but what about Joker? Joker's numbers hasn't changed in the last 3 years. 29, 28, 26, 11, 10, 9. Listen, they're the number one seed again. What has he done amazingly this year that he hadn't done in his MVP years? Nothing. That causes voter fatigue, especially with a dude that is carrying a rookie, a second-year player, Giddey, who's a third or fourth-year player, and a bunch of third-year players to the third seed after being in the play-in last year. Yeah, I think SGA deserves that. What I'm going to look for in this series is going to be literally Zion versus SGA. And what I mean by that is because I believe that J. Will and BI, he's going to come back, I believe will cancel each other out. J. Will's big, athletic, he can shoot, very efficient, and so is BI. I believe that the next people that are going to cancel each other out is Trey Murphy and Chet Holmgren. Okay? I think that they'll cancel each other out. It's literally going to come down to what force meets force with force and who Thunder beat the Bucks. So that puts the Knicks, I think, in the driver's seat for the second seed. And the Lakers looks like they're going to win against the Memphis Grizzlies, so they're going to go to 46-35 and possibly join Golden State. Golden State has to win against the Pelicans tonight in order to, I think, keep the 9th seed. The only reason they're in the 9th seed with the same record as the Lakers because they keep the tiebreaker, so they have to keep it tied. And the Nuggets just lost. So the Nuggets just got stunned by the Spurs. Wemby just stunned the Nuggets. If Minnesota if you talk about Minnesota, they're down to 198 with 3 minutes and 15 seconds against the Hawks. If Minnesota can win against the Hawks, which they should, they got Caught, they got Cat, they got Ant, everybody's there. But the Hawks are also healthy. They also got Trey. The only one that they're missing, I think, is Jalen Johnson. Damn, that's a big win for Wemby, man. Big win. That's just like super momentum into the offseason. So the Timberwolves have to win. If the Timberwolves win, it knocks out what happened 2 nights ago when Denver won in Denver against Minnesota. I believe Minnesota still has the tiebreaker. So Minnesota would go back to the 1 seed. Because then they would be at the same record. I believe Minnesota has the tiebreaker. Things are changing right here, but we're going to keep going. Okay? OKC versus New Orleans. Like I said, it's going to be Zion versus Shea. Okay? Zion versus Shea. That is what's going to be the matchup. Is Zion going to overpower OKC or is Shea going to out-finesse New Orleans? That's what it's going to come down to. LA Clippers versus the Dallas Mavericks is probably the most interesting series of the first round. Kawhi, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Paul George versus Luka, Kyrie, Tim Hardaway Jr., Daniel Gafford, PJ Washington, and Jason Kidd as a coach versus Ty Lue. You have Hall of Famers and MVPs facing the future of what the league is going to be. and then one of the greatest one of the greatest guards of all time. The reason I say this is such an interesting series is because it could go either way based on a couple factors. Rebounding. These two, because of Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington and Derrick Jones Jr., and on the other side, Zubac, you got Kawhi, Paul George, Terrence Mann, Amir Coffey, Norman Powell. These guys, offensive rebound. That's going to be big. Points on turnovers. That's going to be big. Turnovers is going to be big. And last but not least, fourth quarter scoring. Okay? You're talking about Luka and Kyrie, two of the most potent fourth quarter scorers the league has ever seen. But you're also going against a guy who has won a finals because he can score in the fourth quarter, that being Kawhi. He's going to have the ball in his hands. It's all going to come down to the auxiliary pieces. Will PG and James Harden outplay Tim Hardaway and Kyrie Irving? That's what it's going to come down to. Because Gafford and Zubac are going to cancel out each other. And I believe that whoever's shooting threes for them is gonna cancel each other out. So that's going to be a very interesting series. I want to give it to the Mavericks. I really do, because of Luka, because of Kyrie. I believe Luka really wants it this year, has shown it. He's really, really efficient this year. So, like, that's been his only pet peeve. But Kawhi's going to be on him. So Kyrie has to cook PG and cook James Harden. They have to take advantage that James Harden doesn't play defense. And once Russell Westbrook comes off the bench, you cannot let him change the game. He's going to change the tempo. He's going to change the energy level. He's going to try to get him riled up. Cannot do that. If you get a lead, extend it, keep it. That's what you got to do. Those are the matchups, man. Those are the matchups, and they could change. We'll talk about Tuesday, the actual matchups, but I think right now we got some exciting matchups and stuff still happening as we speak. All right, Timberwolves are up 3 with 49.5 seconds left. Up 3 with 49.5. This is for the 1 seed right here. This is 1 game left. This is for the 1 seed. Timberwolves hold the tiebreaker. Okay? The Mavs are losing right now still to the Pistons. 6:23 left in the fourth by 10. This is incredible. I don't know why they're losing this game. That makes zero sense to me why they're losing this game. 1 minute and 24 seconds left in the fourth. The Lakers are up by 1 on the Grizzlies. I hope the Grizzlies win this game. I hope G.G. Jackson hits a shot or something. Man, it does not get any closer than this for these seeds, man. The Clippers I think the Jazz would like to steal one from the Clippers, but it is in L.A., so it's going to be tough. I believe the Kings can beat the Suns, though. I believe that they'll play with the right amount of desperation, De'Aaron Fox and everything. I believe that they'll play with the right amount of confidence, Keegan Murray. They have no Malik Monk, no Herter, but I believe that they can, unless KD, Beal, and Booker go nuts, and then they have no chance. But they are on the road, so, it is in Sac. Man, it is going fast and furious as we speak right now. Fast and early lead for the Warriors, 17-6 over the Pelicans. Big game with big implications. All right. So that's basketball, super exciting, right? Let's go to something that just started. Baseball. Let's go to baseball. New York Yankees still 10-3, top of the East, AL East. Baltimore finally got up there. Remember, it's early in the season, but I expected Baltimore to get up there. Jackson Holiday got called up. He hasn't gotten his first hit yet, but he's a very good defender, and I expect the kid to do just fine. He's a lot of people's Rookie of the Year pick. There's some Rookie of the Years kind of popping off right now when you talk about Jackson Churio and a couple others, but overall, I think that he has a good shot of winning it. Tampa Bay got back up, 8-6. They're in the third seed. Boston's going down. Toronto surprisingly last. With Bassett and La Máquina, Jose Barrios like pitching well, but they just can't seem to get the run support. In the Central, the wide open division, we got Cleveland 9-3, impressive with J-Ram, Rocchio, the Naylor brothers. They have good pitching with McKenzie, Bybee. You got Bieber. I think he got hurt though. You still got Gavin Williams. So, Cleveland can do something in that division. I expect KC or Detroit to win this division though. So KC's second, 9-5. And Detroit is third, 7-4. The Twins, 4-6, they're already fading, and the White Sox are 2-11, and 7.5 games back, and they're out of it already. In the AL West, probably the most competitive, one of the most competitive, if not the most competitive division in baseball. Texas Rangers are at 7-6. I mean, this is close, 7-6. The Angels, the Trout team, 7-6. Mariners are 5-8. Oakland is 5-8, and the Houston Astros are last, 4-10. Still early in the season. I don't expect this to keep going like this, but it's very surprising to see the Angels. I mean, it's 7-6. Like they are facing some competition. It looks like they're not winning stuff easily. We go to the NL East. Atlanta, number 1. Philly, number 2. Mets, 3. Washington, 4. Miami, 2-12. 7 games behind. We're out of it already. We expected that, though. Everybody else is in it. Washington's only 3 games out. The Mets are 6-7. They're only 2.5 games out. But the Phillies are 7-7. Atlanta's only 8-4. Like, we're not talking about no domination here. Domination is the Yankees. They're 10-3. Cleveland's 9-3. That's like being sort of dominant. You look at the NL Central, Milwaukee 9-3, Pittsburgh 10-4. They're tied at the top, which is surprising with Pittsburgh. The Cubs are right there, 7-5, 2 games back. Cincinnati 2.5 games back, 7-6. St. Louis 6-7. Very close early in the season, but I like that the NL Central is looking like it's going to be a race. Go to the NL West. The Dodgers are 3 games up on the Padres, 10-5, playing really well. I mean, Bobby Miller's throwing the ball. Tyler, you still got Kershaw to come back. Walker Buehler hopefully comes back. So you got a lot of power arms that you still use, and you still have that big 3 at the top, plus Gavin Lux and Will Smith and Teoscar Hernandez is hitting the shit out of the ball this year. So, that team is going to be there at the end. I have no doubt. San Diego with Tatis, they're 7-8, second. Arizona 6-7. San Francisco's 5-9, and Colorado's 4-10. I think Colorado's out of it. I think Miami's out of it. And I think the White Sox are out of it. Everybody else is in play. Yes, that includes even the A's. The A's are 2 games back of the Texas Rangers. This is not, we're not talking about a big gap here. This is the beginning of the year. I understand, but Juan Soto's playing well, really well, actually. Really, really well. Bobby Witt's playing really well. Simeon is hitting the ball. I like what Wyatt Langford is doing. Trout is on an MVP track already. He leading the league in home runs. The guy can't get out. He's amazing in the outfield still. It's Mike Trout. I mean, that's nothing else to be said. Ronald Acuna started a little slow. So has Matt Olson. Jackson Chirio's doing good. Yelly's back on MVP pace. That's why the Milwaukee Bucks, part of the reason the Milwaukee Bucks are number 1 right now in the NL Central. Yelly is back to his MVP form. Pittsburgh is kind of just stacked right now. Like, that's how it looks like. It's just kind of like you got Reynolds and Triolo and O'Neal Cruz, Brian Hayes. Like, it's just a bunch of Jack Swinsky, Connor Joe. Like, you have a lot of people, and then you have Jarrett Jones and Keller, to throw out. You still got Paul Skeens in the rotation coming up. So yeah, I expect Cincinnati. Ellie's playing better. He has to cut down on the strikeouts, but he's playing a lot better at the plate. Chicago, I expect to be good with Christopher Morel and Belly playing pretty well. And then, the Dodgers, Otani's playing great. Mookie's playing great. Freeman's playing good. Teoscar Hernandez is playing really, really good. Corbin Carroll's playing good. Ketel Marte. Fernando Tatis Jr. is playing well. Michael Conforto for the San Francisco Giants is playing good. Tyler O'Neill for the Red Sox is playing amazing. Bo Bichette's starting to get back on track. Randy hasn't gotten back on track yet. Spencer Torkelson is trying to get on track. So is Carlos Correa, Byron Buxton, Luis Robert's hurt. Yeah, so I'm very excited about what's happening in baseball. It's exciting every day, to be honest, and we're just gonna keep covering it, man. I love baseball this year. I loved it last year, but this year especially, like, there's so many people, and there's not a lot of people getting hurt so far. Spencer Strider's gone, yes. Luis Robert a little bit, but when you talk about O'Neal Cruz and we got no Kershaw. We still have no DeGrom. I have no Scherzer right now. We have some young kids, though. I like the young kids staying healthy. Some of them always get hurt, and you're like, I have to wait another year to see this kid. Most of them are staying pretty healthy. The young pitchers are staying healthy. Besides Spencer Strider, we still don't know about Spencer Strider. Maybe in the next few days, the MRI comes down. Maybe it's not damaged. Maybe they do something to get him back. But very, 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 very excited for that. Okay, 11.9 seconds left. Timberwolves are up 3 on the Hawks. Mavericks are still losing by 9 against the Pistons with 3:02 left in the fourth. The Warriors are 7-point lead over the Pelicans in the first quarter. 76ers beat the Magic. Okay. So that's what happened right now. So we're going to keep it here. 3.2 seconds left. 109, 106, 3.2 seconds left. Let's see if the Timberwolves can close it out. They would move back into first place with that Nuggets loss, which is incredible that Wemby pulled that off, man. Wemby had a crazy game. Wemby went 34, 12, and 5. 5 of 12 from 3. Yeah, that kid's going to be nasty, man. 37 minutes, so a full load. Yeah, that kid's going to be different. Murray dropped 35, 5 for 11 from 3. I mean, this was a full. I mean, Jokic went 22, 7, and 12. Like, Gordon gave him 13. Porter gave him 14. Like, the bench. Colin Braun gave off the bench, get him 11. Reggie gave him 6. Like, this was a full game. And, the Spurs pulled it out. I mean, good for them, good for their offseason and who they want to build for around Wemby. The Timberwolves have won against the Hawks, so they move into first, I believe. Oh, no. Whoa. OKC's number 1 now. Denver is 2, and then Minnesota 3, but Minnesota just won. Oh, it hasn't updated yet. I think Minnesota is the one that jumps up because of the tiebreaker with Denver. But we'll see. Thank you for joining us on this episode 98. We're 2 episodes away from 100. I mean, I love you guys. I love the support. We're only going to keep growing. I know that I said that we're going to have videos edited and stuff like that. We're still working on the kinks on that. I got to find a schedule with wifey that she can, work on them. They're long form videos, so they're tough to edit all at once. But I thank you all for your patience. I love you guys. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on all our socials. And I leave you guys with the outro.
El exec, el exec, el exec. El Vélez, el Vélez, el Vélez. El fenómeno que todos quieren ser. El chamaquito que no pueden entender.